Guys, what we going to be doing, man? Let's not waste no more time. Let's talk about the last game today. And Man City 6, Leicester City 3. What a game. I must say, what a game. What a game. I'm really proud of my team, though. I'm really, really proud of my team. Really proud of my team. 2 changes from the Newcastle win. Leicester made 6 changes from their win against Newcastle with a makeshift backline as well. And that was a 50th Premier League appearance for Ruben Dias, 74th total. Massive, massive player for City so far. Guys, the goal came early. City on point, unsung very, very early in the game. 5th minute, Fernandinho with that nice dink to De Bruyne. Leicester, too standoffish. De Bruyne had way too much time to control, settle, and shoot with his left. 1-0. Dominant start. 12th minute. 12th minute. Tillemans pulled down Emerick Laporte. Corner build up. Diaz, was involved earlier. Referee had to talk to the players a bit, and then Tillemans brought down Laporte. It looked innocuous at first, but when you look at the replay, he did pull him back. Laporte was heading straight to that ball, and the VAR review, referee Chris Kavanagh went to the screen and overturned. Well, he didn't give the decision at first, but give the decision after looking at the screen. Riyad Mahrez, a former Leicester City man, stepped up to dispatch brilliantly. He'll be heading off to the African Cup of Nations. All the best, Riyad. Algeria on world record 40 plus wins, 40 plus games unbeaten, I should say. I don't think they're all wins, but 40 plus games unbeaten, passing the Italian record. And with their recent win in the Arab Cup, they are now world record holders in terms of games, consecutive games unbeaten. So Mahrez will join up with the Algerian team, make them much stronger there for the African Cup of Nations to look to defend their title. So 18th minute, Leicester with a free kick. Maddison tested Edison, making, he had to push it up onto the crossbar. That was very, very close, and the rebound was dealt with. So that was a nervy moment there for City. Leicester showing glimpses of what they're capable of doing. Ayoze Perez also had a shot saved by Edison. Good period for Leicester after conceding twice. But then the third goal came for City in the 21st minute. Good build-up play. Bernardo, Kevin De Bruyne laying it off to Cancelo, making an overlapping run. And that square that was heading towards the far post. Maybe Raheem Sterling would have run onto it and tap it in. Schmeichel put out a hand, and the parry was tapped in by Ilkay Gundogan for City's third. There was actually a fourth where 4 minutes later, Raheem Sterling, Gundogan laying off the ball, Sterling running at the defense, and Yuri Tillemans, who had a stinker of a day in defense, tripped him up, and Sterling took the ball, stepped up, and dispatched brilliantly. I could remember last season I was saying Sterling and these guys at City who make so much money, they need to take some time to go to the park with one of their buddies and practice to take penalties, because they have been horrible at taking penalties. But the way Mahrez put away his and the way Sterling put away his, exquisitely done. And what penalty problems? You know what I'm saying? Like, you think like, what kind of penalty problems does City have? I didn't see it. So Gundogan, that was his 4th goal of the season. Sterling with his 6th. Mahrez with his 5th, and De Bruyne already has 5 goals. So City dominant first half there, and with Leicester being 4 goals down, I thought it could have got ugly. I honestly was thinking 9 and 10. For real, I was. So Sterling scoring in his 4th consecutive game on the bounce. Tillemans not very good at all in the first half there. 35th minute, there was also an opportunity for Sterling to score. Brilliant build-up. Bernardo after Zinchenko ball to Bernardo and that first time ball and volley from Sterling. Oh my God, if that had scored, that would have been wicked. Mahrez had a chance that went wide in the 43rd. Gundogan a chance saved in extra time. 4-0 at halftime. It was so dominant. Guardiola happy man. Brendan Rodgers scratching his head. And with scratching his head, he did have the plan. He did have the idea to get back in the game. I'm pretty sure he gave his boys a good talk and told his boys, listen, if you conceded 4 in the first half, you could score 4. Believe in yourself. You could go out there and you could put 4 past City. And I'm telling you, what these guys did in the early stages of the second half there was absolutely astonishing. I honestly started to panic a bit. I'm not going to lie. I started to, when the first goal was scored, right? 55th minute, the breakaway. Great counter. Laporte slipped, couldn't get to the ball. Diaz, he failed to close down the ball, and then Iheanacho to Maddison, who did the rest. I was like, okay, they got one back, so what? But then 4 minutes later, Iheanacho picked out Ademola Lookman. Zinchenko and Gundogan with the turnover, and then Leicester with the quick transition, and the way Iheanacho just opened up his body to pick out Lookman and in space, it was brilliantly done. And the finish as well, exquisite. His second goal of the season. Maddison, by the way, has been in great form. Brilliant form this season. Well, maybe not for the whole season, but for the last month or so, he really has been in good form, though. I'm telling you, top form. I don't know if he could get better than this right now. But we know how good Maddison is. Remember, Maddison was a Norwich City player. Let me just remind you guys that. Maddison was a Norwich City player. Imagine if they had kept him, though. But he has been good. I think they needed Jamie Vardy on the day if something magical was going to happen. But I couldn't believe these guys were coming back from 4-0 down, you know. At halftime, I was saying, Pep needs to put on this youngster right here. This youngster by the name of Keiki. Brazilian youngster. I'm like, yeah, boy, we're going to get to see him in the second half for sure. Nah, Pep couldn't afford to do that. Couldn't afford to do that. Because Leicester, within 10 minutes, scored 3. Maddison, after City was caught on the break, they were able to put their, get their shape back, get bodies behind the ball. But Maddison with the shot from distance, forcing Edison to push it onto the crossbar. The dink off the crossbar, falling nicely to Iheanacho for that tap-in. Brilliant by Leicester. And Ruben Diaz. I don't know if what Ruben Diaz did there, in a way, when you think about it, affected the game. Think about what I'm trying to say here. Not very good gamesmanship by taking the ball out the back of the net, not allowing Iheanacho to get the ball and celebrate with the ball, but to take the ball and carry the ball to the kickoff and say, hey, man, listen, we need to get a grip on things. See this ball right here? We need to score a few more goals. And within 4 minutes, a two-goal lead was actually restored. Mahrez with a scintillating crossing. Laporte with a nice loopy header. Bam. I was like, God damn, thank you very much, because being 4-0 up and allowing a team to come back to score 3, to be honest, that was an embarrassing period. We were getting beaten off the park in the early stage of the second half there. And I know Pep would have been pissed off at the whole situation. And his hands was tied. Because what is he going to do? You see what I'm saying? It's the typical way City concede goals. On the break, in the transition, on the counter. And Leicester, with their opportunities there, in the second half, they were clinical. They were really clinical. But 5-3 up, I think, City had basically restored their lead by 2 goals. and it would have been a mountain to climb. I think Leicester had given it all throughout that period. And there was a few more instances, of course, where they came close. But I think that did it. I think that header by Laporte did it. And you got to give credit to the defenders, though. Laporte, Ake, Diaz have been chipping in with the goals. Cancelo as well. Zinchenko, had a decent game. People like to criticize Zinchenko, but they don't realize the good job he does. And I think Zinchenko could be a player that could remain at Man City for a few more seasons. And, just play that more reserved role. You don't have to be the star man. Not everybody's going to be a star. You see what I'm saying? So, 78th minute, Leicester did get another great opportunity. Maddison with the cheeky free kick. And Iheanacho's close range shot was saved by Ederson. Give credit to Ederson there. De Bruyne was taken off, 71st minute. Phil Foden, who has been a naughty boy lately, is getting some game time again, which means Pep has punished him enough and he's, getting back into the fold. Sterling with the opportunity in the 87th minute to stretch City's lead, 3 goals. Corner came in, Mahrez, Diaz with the scrappy kind of header. I think it came off his arm a bit as well. And Sterling with the tap in. I have to say Sterling, bro. When the rumors were circulating about you leaving the club, I was like, yeah, you could leave, bro. You could leave. But you now showed us how important you are to the club. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel shitty that I said Sterling should leave, to be honest. But look, man, if a player want to leave, I'm not going to be one to hold them back. Just like Ferran Torres. And that's just the way I look at things. That was his 7th goal of the season, and he's been damn good lately, scoring 5 goals in his last 4 games. Brilliant by Sterling. Diaz, even with his 2nd assist this season, and finish off an emphatic 9-goal thriller. City 6, Leicester City 3. Man City getting their revenge after that 5-2 loss last season at the Etihad. So, big win. Very, very big win. And something that I want to do really quick for this game, I want to just look at the stats and the insights for this game briefly, because I think we're going to get some juicy stats here from this match. So, City, man. City. 7 against Leeds, 4 against Newcastle, and 6 against Leicester. This is unbelievable stuff. When you really think about it, this is unbelievable stuff, man. That's 17 goals in 3 games. 17 in 3 games, conceded 3. You look at the standings here, and some teams have not even scored 17 goals yet. Norwich with 8, Burnley with 14. You got 18 for Leeds. You got 18 for Newcastle, 19 for Southampton. You go up to Wolves, they got 13. Brighton got 16 all season. And City scores 17 in 3. Tottenham got 21 goals overall. This is ridiculous stuff. 47 points. Top at Christmas. Every time they've been top at Christmas, they've won the title. Halfway through, 6-point lead. Well, it could be a 3-point lead with Liverpool, a game in hand if they win that one. A 3-point lead. Listen, that's brilliant. It's looking like it's going to be a title winning season for Man City again. Back to back, baby. But anyways, let's take a look at the game here. 6-3. The stats, 17 shots at goal. Leicester did really come back well in the second half, I have to say. With 28% possession, they really came back well. But if you look at the Man City stats, I like this. You see the ratio between the shots on goal and shots on target? This is usually way off, where City get like 25 shots, 2 on target sometimes. And I hate that. The fact that we are more clinical, we are more direct, more cutting edge, I love it. A lot of possession, the passing accuracy, the passing, which just exemplifies the dominance that City have over the games. The discipline as well is brilliant, man. Look at the corners, 14, and scored from a few of them as well. Brilliant stuff. Look, the insights, this is what I want to check. Man City have scored 6+ goals in consecutive home Premier League games. 7 against Leeds and 6-3 today for the first time since November 2013 when they beat Norwich 7-0 and Spurs 6-0. Leicester were 4-0 down inside 25 minutes in this match. The first time a side had found themselves 4-0 down that early in a Premier League game since Watford were down 4-0 after 15 minutes against City in September in 2019. This is ridiculous stuff. City's 6-3 win against Leicester is the first ever Premier League game on Boxing Day to see as many goals as 9 and the highest scoring match in the top flight overall on Boxing Day since Oldham 3, Man United 6 in 1991. Oldham Athletic are now playing in the 4th tier of English football. By the way, I'm using them in my career mode, and that's why I know about Oldham being in the 4th tier right about now. But look, man, look, Ademola, look, man, this is ridiculous what City's been doing. 9 wins on the trot after that Crystal Palace loss. And you got Brentford. Win probability, 83%. We go back. I should have went back the other way. But let's go back. Let's go back. Arsenal. Win probability, 65%. We beat Arsenal already this season. When Arsenal meets City, I don't know what happened to them. It's like they get, the cold feet or something. But we could be facing a different Arsenal team where they are in very good form. But Arsenal have even shown us that even when they're in good form and they meet a superior opposition, they flunk out. Right? Swindon Town in the cup. Should see rotation there. Should win that game, but you never know. The big game there is against Chelsea. January 15th. Chelsea's season could be determined by the Liverpool game and the City game, where if they do not get points, at least 4 points, it could be ugly. It could be detrimental. If they lose to Liverpool, which they didn't do. They picked up a 1-1 draw early on in the season, but they lost to City. If they fail to beat City, and they draw, even if they draw against Liverpool and fail to beat City, and then they got Tottenham under Conte, Chelsea's Premier League hopes could slip away. I was actually taking a look at Chelsea since they won the title under Conte. And they have been absolutely poor in the league. Poor in the league. Let me show you. Let me just show you something really quick. Chelsea. Let me just go back to the original Premier League page here, right? Chelsea, 67 points last season. The previous season, 66 points. The previous season, they picked up 72 points. And the season before that, they got 70 points. Season before that, they won it, of course. But you see what I'm saying here? And look at this season when Mourinho had got sacked. 50 points. I know you won the Champions League, Chelsea. Sit down, man. Sit down. Sit down. That's all I got to say. Sit down. So, guys, look. That's my thoughts for this week's games. Let me just touch on the next game for Leicester City here. For Leicester City. Their next game will be against Liverpool this Tuesday. Another tough one. Then they got Norwich, Watford in the cup, and then Burnley. That's it for Leicester. That's it for this week's roundup. It's your boy Dominic Rich. Javi, stop hating. Got ya.